Welcome to Unit 1 in our New Mexico history course. I hope that you are feeling well as you get started with the course. As I've mentioned elsewhere, please don't hesitate to ask questions whenever you have them. I'm always more than happy to help out no matter what the question is, whether it's about the digital tools we're using or about the course structure or about the materials we've been reading and thinking about. Whatever it is, please don't hesitate to contact me and ask any questions that you have and make this learning experience the very best that it can be for you. I'm dedicated to that. That's my goal and my mission here for this course, but I need to know what help you need so that I can be of assistance wherever possible. Unit 1, as you've read on the checklist above, is dedicated toward just getting started, getting familiar with our course in Blackboard, figuring out where things are, and thinking about what history is and how and why we study it. We'll also think a little bit about New Mexico history specifically in terms of how historians have thought about it in the past or not thought about it in the past, and why it is so significant to us right now in the present. So that's kind of where we're headed in Unit 1. We will be introducing ourselves to each other on the discussion board. You'll create an avatar to add to Blackboard. You can or cannot use that one on Twitter as well if you want to. It's up to you. You could use a different avatar on Twitter than you use on Blackboard. Totally up to you. If you'd rather not have an avatar on Twitter, that's also fine. One other thing, since we're getting started with Twitter in this unit, if you would like to create an account that does not use your real name so that you can be anonymous on Twitter, that is more than fine. I only ask that you email me or text me to let me know what pseudonym you'll be using on Twitter so that I can know who to give credit to for the work that you'll be doing there. Let me see. What else do we need to talk about at the beginning here? Again, we're thinking about how history is a field located within the humanities. It's a field that looks at human experiences in the past, and so it's imperfect. The evidence that we need to use as historians was created by imperfect humans who had certain perspectives, certain axes to grind, certain concerns as they wrote about the past. We also have to confront the very difficult issue of trying to find the voices of past actors who were marginalized, either because of race, class, gender, and a whole plethora of other kinds of reasons, whose voices don't necessarily find their way into the historical record. That's something that historians are wrestling with. And that's something that we'll see again in Unit 2 in terms of indigenous histories. And so one question to think about as we go along over the next couple of weeks is how can we find and elevate the largest number of voices and perspectives as possible in order to get the fullest picture of the past that we possibly can. We'll talk a little bit about the problem of objectivity. Since, again, history is part of the humanities, objectivity is not truly possible. It's something that we can strive for, and I think that we should strive for, but we're not going to, or maybe we can discuss this further, because you don't have to agree with me on this, but we're not going to find a single objective truth about the past. Instead, we're going to find multiple histories and multiple perspectives. And so to best understand the past and how it informs our current relationships with others in the present, it's important to find as many perspectives as we possibly can. Okay. Oh, one other thing to mention in Unit 1, here in this intro that I didn't really bring out in any of the assignments that we'll be doing for this unit is the issue of our own position relative to the history that we're studying. And what I mean by that is we need to think about, is this story ours to tell? And if not, how can I include it in all of the perspectives that I've just told you we need to include on the past in a sensitive way. This is something that's really kind of stuck with me, and I don't know if I've always approached it the best. As I wrote the New Mexico history text, I'm a white male, and I'm not a native New Mexican. I grew up in Utah. I've lived here for about 16 or 17 years now, but and I'm very interested in all of the various histories and perspectives on the past that come out here. We have such rich cultures and so many unique people here in New Mexico. It's one of the things that I most love about it. But how can I write about that? Those are not really my stories. And so I've tried to, wherever possible, let scholars like Joe Sando, who was from Jemez Pueblo, do the talking as much as I can. Of course, I put his words into my words, which is an act of interpretation, something that we'll have to deal with as we create our timeline and as we talk about the past with each other on Twitter. But again, I just want you to be kind of aware of that, especially as you choose timeline topics. And that's not, again, something we'll do in Unit 1, but we'll start that with Unit 2 and then continue that work over the rest of the course. But again, that doesn't mean that because I'm a white male, I can't choose to write about Malintzin, who was the Mayan, well, she was a Nahua Mayan slave who was made a concubine of Cortez. We'll come across her in the reading. That doesn't mean I can't write about her, but I think it does mean that I need to be especially kind of sensitive and aware to my own place many centuries after she lived, coming from a different kind of perspective. So how can I treat her story with the care and respect that it deserves? That should be something that we think about as we work on the timeline and everything else for the course. So I will stop there. Hopefully I didn't ramble, I didn't mean to, and hopefully these ideas are helpful to help all of us get started in thinking about history from a critical and thoughtful place.